But what I'm interested in, David, is the comparison between two sides that press up the highest in their defence, the Bulldogs and Port Adelaide. Both are getting the ball in there plenty of times, but only one side is defending when it goes out.
Well, if you have a look here, Joe, we've taken out the defensive 50. That's where a lot of times teams can push numbers back and they can often win the ball down there. If you talk about just forward 50 and midfield intercepts, so pressing right up the field, locking that ball into your forward half, Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs are 1 and 2, and they are pressing right up the field. We'll talk later on with the Adelaide Crows there, and that's an anomaly we'd like to talk about later, Jason, but their aggression... For the Bulldogs, it's been fantastic. Not so much for Port Adelaide. We know what's happening. It's all duck or no dinner at the moment. Let's compare the two. Let's have a look at what that looks like game day and see whether you can come with me, Jay. See how their numbers right up the field, off the back of a stoppage, try and lock that ball in the Western Bulldogs forward 50. And just look at the ability to defend as a team. Look at their work rate to get back in and see 10 to 12 players instantly, as soon as St Kilda have won that ball, getting back to help their back six.
Yeah, they've got plenty of numbers back, which means they've slowed the opposition down, and the opposition really don't have too many options to kick to going forward.
It's been valued. That's the one thing for me. It's been valued. They only coughed up one goal out of their defensive half on the weekend. One goal.
What I see is them maintaining the layers of defence. The players on the offside, they come in and get around the players who are facing the pressure itself. They apply the pressure because they know the cavalry's coming around the back.
Wrapping around the back to protect that backside.
And it complements the way they attack, because then it's closer to goal that they're defending. Let's have a look at Port Adelaide and what happened on the weekend. This is a big issue. I
think most Port Adelaide fans are desperate to know what's going wrong.
Well, they're pushing right up the field as well, and it's all duck or no dinner at the moment. You can see here the Crows going to the right of screen, able to hack that ball out. Now, right now, there's those 5 Port Adelaide front line first wall of defence. They need to charge back. They need to get back into their defensive 50.
They're dawdling.
And they're dawdling, and you can see the Crows players pushing past. They end up kicking 10 goals out of their defensive 50 on counter-attack, and Crouch steps 2 metres forward there, and it's an easy goal in the end. But the job was done at the start. They're not working hard enough defensively as a team. Can't blame the back six. You've got to look at it as a team.
But you're right. You've got to switch on straight away, because once those players get goal side, you can't reel them in because they are running flat stick and you'll never make up the ground. But they had position and they conceded it. And that's just a lack of being switched on.
That is really disappointing for a Port Adelaide side that's been renowned as the hardest training team in the competition. They do the biggest pre-season and all that. The players need to turn up game day and they need to deliver. And when the hardest, when fitness is required the most, is defensive running like that, Jared. So certainly there'd be no excuse those players wouldn't be fit enough. It's all to do with their application out in the field. It's not a fitness, it is an intent thing. Ken Inkley be really disappointed with that.
No, I think he needs to look at the personnel there as well. Yeah. There's a lot of stoppers that are meant to win that ball back and defensively diligent, but on that occasion or that day they weren't. I think he needs to look at maybe going smaller, some more elite kicks, help their ball use coming out and locking it in that forward half.
I hear what you're saying, but that's attitudinal.
It is,
That's a mindset about having the discipline to work hard enough, early enough, to shore up
Jason,
those
what we're hearing is we're the fittest team and we've got to take the game on. I think they've got to stop talking about fitness, stop talking about attack and start talking about getting your runners on when the ball's going.
Everyone's fit.
The Bulldogs had 14 players running back. They had 6. That's the difference. Doesn't matter whether they're midfielders, half forwards or half backs, really. It's not a team defence.
It's damning vision.
That is damning vision, and the numbers show that Port Adelaide, they were incredible creating goals from the back half right through.